Hello again, I'm Veronica Bartolini with Unchained Hearts, and I am here with James Rink. He is interviewing me. He has a YouTube channel, Super Soldier Talk, and we are here at the Westgate 5D events in Las Vegas. We are here. We made it. I will be speaking today, tomorrow, and Sunday. Reference many SSP groups, Secret Space Program groups, what a Super Soldier is, the Hulk program, Project Montauk, Looking Glass, AI, DARPA, what's going on right now, what is going on with the pandemic, etc. What I saw in the future happening, and it's actually happening right now. I had my awakening in 2017, watching Max Spears on YouTube, and I understood that I was part of the Secret Space Program. So my whole thing has been, how is it that they could augment our DNA? And how? Well, why? So why is because we come in from another realm, another dimension, right? And then we're born here. They find out, we'll say they, will find out, the powers that be will find out who you are. They'll chip you when you're born as a baby in the back of your head. Then they'll trace you, they'll track you all your life. And when I was a kid, I had all these dreams about being chased, how do you say, monsters under the bed, in the closet. And I always had to be fighting in my dreams and killing off these people. Half of their faces were gone. They're pretty bloody and gory. And I was just wondering, what the heck? My mom would tell me that I would sleepwalk. And I remember one time she woke me up and I was actually seeing myself and her waking me up and saying, hey, it's Saturday. You don't go to school today. Put me back in bed. And so I have these superpowers since I was a kid. When I get mad, I just want to destroy everything. And I have noticed throughout the years that I have a very high energy, high vibing energy that affects technology. Sometimes my laptop doesn't want to turn on, or, I'll walk through in my apartment and a light will just be flickering in the hallway. And then things like that. So I was like, okay, well, who am I? I was contacted by, I was asking myself, who am I? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm a Hulk being as well as other people, because they use you in this secret space program to mind fracture you and cause for you here in the 3D to have DID, which is dissociative identity disorder. And that's what I was diagnosed in at one of these behavioral health places. So I was contacted by David Morrow because I did see him on a YouTube thing with Miles Johnson. And I said, hey, I was named the Hulk when I was at the police academy. And when I was a cop, they would say that, be careful with Veronica because she's going to kick your ass. She's going to Hulk out on you. Later on, I find out what hulking out means, and it's Frankensteining, right? German word. Speaking of German, I know that I have German on both sides, among other blood lines. So talking to David Morrow, he told me he did have metal plating and things like that on his back. And he's been in and out of psych wards. I've lost track of him, but I do have memories with him, and he says that I was one of his protectors. So through the years, I was like, okay, well, what exactly did they do? And I do remember being in a tank when I did a regression with James Ring. In a tank, it was like a bluish, greenish, yellowish substance. And I'm hooked up, I have antennas on my head. I'm hooked up on my back and my hips. And in the 3D world here, for years they were giving me epidural shots in my lower and my lumbar, my neck, everything. They still give me migraine shots, what they call Botox shots, all over my head. There's 34 shots. Plus I have really bad PTSD, so they have to give me one on each side. I wish they would give me some here, right? To look better. But anyway, I'm cool with that. So I stopped all that. Now, what I'm trying to say is when they had me hooked up in my back and everything, it's what they call, later on I found it's called the octopus. When I was being given the epidural shots by my specialist, he had two female, excuse me, doctors in the room. And of course I was under like this anesthesia gas, which didn't affect me. I was still feeling everything. I have a high tolerance for pain. And he told the two lady doctors, he says, do you see this black coil? It's wrapping around her spine. So I was like, oh my goodness. When I left there, I started crying. My sister picked me up. I said, what the heck is this? She had no idea what the heck I was talking about. And it dawned on me that, yeah, we have what they call bleed out. So if you have some memories here, you will have flashbacks or dreams. And no, like some people say, oh, it's your subconsciousness. It's your subconsciousness picking up on a movie. Oh, it's sci-fi. Well, there's a difference between, we can get into that a little later, what a real super soldier is as versus a fake one that's being used by the powers that be. So that's where I found myself asking more questions that I'm not crazy. Well, Umbrella Project is also part of what I saw in my regression with James Ring is Black Shield, Umbrella, DARPA, and CERN. They're all working together to make another super soldier out of our DNA. And I'll talk about a little bit about that in the conference. It's 99. What is the number 99? So in the lab, it's pretty... Some areas are kind of dark, and it's kind of like it's under like a cave, and then we have the lab as well. I did speak to Janine, which she was one of the people that I spoke to in my regressions. She's one of the doctors there, and I asked her, what am I doing here when they disconnected me from the tube, what they call the region tank, and after which I'll describe later or in the conference of what actually happens when you're being hulked out. They give you all these, they give you black goo, they give you yellow goo, they give you pink goo, like a purple, it looks like a purple substance. And that purple substance is also part of Project Umbrella. If you've ever seen those movies, Resident Evil, when they turn, to werewolves and they turn into vampires, that stuff is real. And so I was talking to Janine and I said, what are you guys doing? Like, why are you using me? And she's saying that they used us, like James Rink and I, the Hulks, to battle the zombies. There's a project in Mars of the Kruger Project, which involves zombies. And so if these zombies were... So because the Hulk has these things, these abilities of being able to affect sonar, go through walls, and do the jump portals, jump gates, fight off whatever enemy, and always win, they are trying to create this new super soldier, and this is the Illuminati, to fight against the real super soldiers that are coming out in public. And so it's kind of a touchy subject, because if you come out in public, you will be harassed, you will be followed, you'll be questioned. Some people, I've been in a psych ward, they'll say you're crazy, they'll label you SMI, severely mentally ill, which is not correct. And they'll try and give you all these medications because they don't want you to remember. And that's part of the Omega Project. So they have this little switch in you that before you understand or have an awakening to these black ops that are actually happening right now as we speak, they will want you to self-destruct. Okay, so that's where I had my near-death experience where, I died for 3 days. I said, I don't want to live anymore. And that was because I was listening to these voices that are used by the CIA, which is called V2K, voice to skull, or God to voice technology. And they also have this other way of trying to stop you through the Omega Project is by sending an assassin. However, They forget that we were trained assassins in their programs. Sheila the She-Hulk, she is my clone in Project Umbrella. She is pretty tall, about 10 feet tall, 9 feet tall. She turns green, when she gets mad. Kind of like the Lou Ferrigno guy, if you've ever seen the Hulk, he gets mad. He gets augmented, and his features start getting all bulky, and he gets really strong and upset. And that has to do with the Blackgoo that they inject in us. So that way, with the Hulk program, the only emotion that they let you have is anger. Okay, not compassion, not anything like that. So there's a very thin line between when I'm hulked out, we'll say, when I am Sheila here in the 3D world, between a fine line between, hey, be careful what you're gonna destroy. Be careful. Hold your tongue. Think about it. There's this person in the middle, which is my real self, saying, hold up, okay, I know you're mad about this, you're Sheila right now, but remember, you are a real compassionate person. So the yin and yang comes to play. And that, like I said, it has to do with the Blackgoo that they injected in us. And Blackgoo is to augment for fuerza, for high energy, for strength. Okay, the yellow one is, I believe it's to help to soothe you while you're in stasis, and the blue and fluorescent green one is also to for healing, and but I wrote them down. I will talk about them in the presentation. So when I was little, my father and my mother would take me to Mazatlan, and my middle sister, my little one wasn't born yet. So we would go to Mazatlan almost every year. And I just love the water. I just love the dolphins. I always feel like I was a mermaid, or, something that I'm really close to the ocean. I just love the water. It's very healing, like it's part of my home. Later on, I find out that the Greys did augment my blood as well for the dolphin program. And my daughter actually drew, and I'll send you that picture later so you can put it up. She drew these beings, and when she was like in junior high, I believe they were like the Greys. And she saw, she actually drew the spaceship that I was taken from by the Andromedans, because I'm also Traveler Andromedan 1800. And I'm here also to change the timelines and things like that. So as far as crystal gates, I did find that dolphins, because I could communicate with them, and I'll tell you all about it later, or at another time how and why. And it also involved James Rink and Jamin Vasquez too, in one of my dreams, my memories. So what they do is they have you in the pool as a kid. They take you, and whether they take you physically or your consciousness, but I know they took us physically for Project Crystal Gates. I found that there's portals underground, under the ocean, where you can go off planet and on planet. And so they wanted to see if they can create this hybrid with children. And so they hooked us up to the dolphins pretty much. They augmented our blood. We traded blood between the blood DNA between me and the dolphin. And we were able to communicate. And also, we are very empathetic when we are in dolphin state. We're very happy. The dolphins are so happy. They're here to help save the world as well. From an apocalypse happening, they're here to also help save the children. And they do cause earthquakes once in a while, because they help Mother Earth to try and shake off, these, we'll say, bad guys. So I'll tell you a little bit about the pool, the dream that I had, the flashback, the memory, which is weird because I had this flashback where I'm in this huge metallic dome under the ground, and the walls are white, and I'm swimming with not only dolphins, but I'm swimming with black and white whales. And at first I'm scared to go in the water, but then all of a sudden I'm like, hey, they're nice. You know, the dolphins and the whales are nice. So I jump in the pool. There's a bunch of kids around me and with me. And then I'm instructed to just talk to them and just to swim with them. And I'm like, all right, that's all I remember. I woke up and I'm like, what the heck is this dream about? You know, later on, I do a regression with James Ring, and he's also involved in the program. I do see the us being hooked up to the dolphins, and then we can do what they call, we can shapeshift into being a dolphin or just being a mermaid and then coming out of the water and being human again. It's kind of weird. And they use also the Blackgoo. They use our abilities to be able to channel with them. So, and I did see that with the regression. Now, years later, which is a few months ago, Jamin Vasquez contacts me through, because James Ring knows them. We all served in this program. And I know Sylvia, she served with us as well. I'm not sure about the dolphin program though. But Jamin remembers me in doing what the actual project was. He said they had us connect with an A+ student and a C+ student. They would put us together, and for example, I had to teach Jamin Vasquez how to be telepathic with the dolphins, but he wasn't getting it. He's like, Vero, I wasn't getting it. So they had to put us in the water. We did swim around with them, and then we were there. And he says that I told him to just touch the dolphin's head. If the children cannot be telepathic with the dolphins, they have you touch the dolphins, because the dolphins can heal. The dolphins are high vibrational. They can transfer their information to you just by touch if you cannot be telepathic with them. And so he did that, and he said it took him a while to finally get what was going on. So, and then after that, he says that they lined us up again with our partners, and they had us do a palm. The A+ students had to extend their hands out and do the palm down thing. And then the other student comes underneath. So Jamin and I were like this, okay? And he says that our fingers all of a sudden started moving. And he says that we were actually transferring information from, for example, what I got from my dolphin altar, which is Myra. James is Osiris. They're so cool. And so then that information is transferred to the other person, in this case, Jamin, and James with his other partner. And so then after that, he said he blacks out, and that we jump in the water again, and then they take us to the special room, and he blacks out. Now, I do have a memory that I haven't written about yet, but I'm in this hallway, we're in a spaceship, and also Jamin talks about that later on. We're in a spaceship, and there's these metallic doors that open and close. I do remember seeing the window ones and the metallic ones. There's these long hallways, and it's kind of gruesome. It kind of reminds me of this hotel. The hallways of this hotel. I don't like it. And they had me and this little boy. He was my brother, I guess, or something. I don't know. We're a partner in the group. And they take me to this room. And there's one bed. And the little boy, he's scared. And I have to tuck him in. And I'm like, it's going to be okay. And then there's this witch-looking figure, female, that comes into the room and is trying to take him away. And I wake up just holding on to him. So that, I know now that that's when Jamin blacks out. It's just crazy. We're in a tank, and we're naked. Of course, they always want us naked. I don't know why. But they're always filling us up with all this stuff. They have us connected to these tanks. Then they take us out as children. They put us on a slab, and then they bring in the whales. I mean, the dolphins. The dolphins are captured in nets since they were babies. Okay, so they have the baby dolphin, and they have our child person, us, our real person, on the slab. They drown us. Before that, they do a lot of drowning. because they want to fragment us. They want us to be obedient. They want us to kill each other off if on command, because you're not gonna eat if you don't kill your friend. They're not gonna see their family if you don't kill their friend, or vice versa, whatever. So they want to know who the best of the best is. They want to take out those emotions, and they fragment you. So we're on a slab now, both the baby dolphin and us, the child, we'll say. And they, after the drowning, and after they use electricity on us, and they drown us again, then they, hook us up with our an IV of black goo, yellow goo, you name it, our mouth, our nose, it's all like that. It's with the tubes, and they're feeding us all this stuff. And so then the dolphin, the hybrid, we'll say the hybrid dolphin child, becomes kind of like this merman type thing, where it has a tail, but it's also a male, and it's gray, and it has big eyes, has hair. Some of us have hair, some of us don't. We can shapeshift after that. We can when we, like I said earlier, when we get out of the ocean or the water, we can become mermaids. Then we do the human. And yes, I did have a question where, hey, do the mermaids, what happens to their tail? Well, you shapeshift. And how is because during that time where the child and the dolphin is hooked up, you go through these portals, you go through stargates. And then they test you when you're that, we'll say the third one, which is the hybrid child. They'll test you, and they'll have you go through these portals. Now it's very different from it has to do some with CERN too, and DARPA and Project Umbrella, but the CERN project here on Earth, the one that I was involved with, and we'll go into that later, but it's SOG, Special Operations Group. I was Bravo 18A trainer. That program just has the people be hooked up to screens, and you go through portals that way. They give you not hallucination, but they give you it's like holographic thing. And you can go through portals. You can see other people. You can monitor people, because in this military program in CERN, they want you to remote view. So they teach you how to remote view. But the thing of it is a very fine line, and I'm going a little bit off topic, between a super soldier and a real super soldier. Right now, there's a war between the fakes, call them the fake super soldiers, that the military Illuminati Masons are coming up with. And that has to do a lot with some presidents that I don't know if I should mention in the past, the Clintons. And there is evidence of this. You can look it up. I have very special friends that I cannot say who they are here on Earth, but they can vet that out. So, they use these fake, we'll say, super soldiers that were used through CERN, through the SOG program, to actually child traffic, and to also remote view us, super soldiers, the real ones. Now, again, the difference between the real and the fake, and I don't like to use fake, but there is a war, like I said, going around with the unique ones, we'll say. The unique one, us, we were drowned. They used electricity on us. They used, the Blackgoo. They used the shots. They used the all that. So they had to retire the dolphins. They had to let them go because they were dying of sadness. So at least there was a little bit of affection there, of empathy. Yeah, right. What happened is that the Hulks we're starting to come to destroy. I see it, to destroy this. So the dolphins picked up on by their sonar, because they have the sonar, they can echolocate and all that. And they had to let go of the dolphins. And now the only thing that I have a problem with is our child's body, avatar, I guess you can say body, is under Antarctica in a submarine, and it's like a greenish light, something like that. and it's hidden under Antarctica. And that's where my light body is too. So when I came into this world, they took my light body and have it under there. Some of us super soldiers are still down there. And I was talking to James Rink 2 weeks ago when I was really drained. I was really tired. I was getting migraines again. And he saw another altar, which we'll talk about later. And he says, yeah, because we're still hooked up under there, our light body, and being used to create other altars and other alternate realities on Earth. So, yeah, that's where we are right now. And the dolphins are, like I said, they will be creating more earthquakes in the future because we have to get those kids out. And I do have some targeting points that I've been remote viewing. Frank Emart asked me to. And I don't know if I'm at liberty to say what the target is or what I saw and where it is, but we're getting close. We're getting very close. Dolphins can heal humans. They can heal us super soldiers. They can do it just through their DNA, through their soul, through their mind. And the technology does, of course, has to do with Tesla, but even before then, it had the Tesla. I mean, the med beds do involve the healing, unconditional love of dolphins in their protein mRNA that they have in their blubber, and that's what I see. And they can heal people. They also, this whole Project Crystal Gates was part of the regrowth program, which their main thing was to help regrow body parts of veterans and of super soldiers and of people in general. So it has a lot to do with the regrowth program. And they use the 99, which is the red and the green, what I saw in when I was asking myself, well, what is this? You know, I had this vision. And when we're in the Hulk program, they have us under this on the slab. Once they take us out from the Regent tank, they have us hooked up to these machines. And these machines, you know, they're going up and down our head, down to our feet and things like that. That's where the implants are implanted. There's a strand of DNA that is red on this side and green on this side. Okay. So that has a lot to do with that. And of course, like I said, Project Umbrella is involved. They get so many healing powers. Both dolphins and Hulks, we can go through walls, go through portals. We can echolocate, but some people call it bilocation, but that can mean something else. We're able to remote view on the spot. You don't need to be blindfolded or anything like that, like what they try and do in these military programs. And so the whole thing right now that's going on is they're using our light bodies and they're using us now. We're taking all the time. I mean, James Rink has so many, he'll call me or whatever and he says, hey, I woke up with a scratch mark. Where were we? So of course I'm there with him, or another super soldier will call me and say, hey, Vero, this and this went on. And, you know, I had a sty here on my eyelid and and then James Rink had scratches and a thing on his lip. I'm like, yeah, you know, and then we all correlate. And Penny Bradley too, she's also very helpful in piecing, helping us all piece everything together, because as you see, we all have little puzzles and we're all part of the huge, what I call crystal heart, right? The one consciousness, the one of unconditional love. So we're all a little part in that, and no one is better than another person. We're not all better, you know, we shouldn't be in competition. But the powers that be want to try and tear us, the real super soldier family, apart. So they will use people like in radio and in TV, or they will use your family, and through the V2K, through the Wi-Fi, through the, you know, with the CIA, they'll send you these messages and say, you know what, this person and this person, they'll start rumors to try and hurt us, one another, and even within your family. So you have to be very aware of that. So going back to our light body, why are they using us? I can communicate with animals, with hawks, with birds. When I'm speaking about something that is relevant, or how they say truth or fact, a cardinal or a couple cardinals will show up, or hawks will show up. I always have hawks in front of my yard, and I can talk to them, telepathically, and it's really cool. And James Rink the other day, he 2 weeks ago, he's like, "Hey, do you remember a hawk being?" So I was able to remote view my body, and she is a female called the Hawk Lady. And I have another altar that Jamin says they used to call me La Dragona with the Mars program, with the jump program with Max Spears. But going back to the Hawk Lady, she's really pretty. She's connected to Mother Earth, connected to the flying beings, the eagles, the hawks, the birds. And they are used to protect us. Okay, so when I'm on my bike rides, a couple times there's been hawks just waiting for me under the underpass on the rail, and they stay there. Like I'll stop on my bike, I'll brake on my bike for a little bit, I'll just watch them, and it's like amazing how we are being watched. Now, there is a program out there that does monitor us through birds, through our cats, through our dogs, so we have to be very careful. I always suggest saging your place and telepathically speaking to your cats or dogs and saying, you will not be used for this program, and putting a hedge of protection around them. Just be careful though, when you're outside, when you're out there on Mother Earth getting your daily vitamin D from the sun, right? Your DNA codes. Just be careful with some of the flying beings, some of the palomas, the doves, and things like that. They are remote viewing you through these AI birds. Legendary, they think that it's there was a dragon on the moon. I was told by a Mason 2.5 years ago that the moon is actually it is encased in human, ET, and animal skin for protection. They also, I know that they do on a full moon, especially on eclipses, they will send through their LiDAR, or their beams, energy weapons to try and hurt you or cause you to not sleep. I mean, my goodness, we already have PTSD. So, and that's why sometimes some of us super soldiers, or regular people even that don't know that they're, super soldiers, go through this. They can't sleep, sometimes they either overeat or no eat. They have like a lot of energy or no energy because we're being taken. So over there in the moon, for years, they had this program where they would take the children. I have a feeling it's still going on. Humans, animals, other ETs from other planets, and they had these chains where, and I've seen pictures, and they've had these chains where they will use the skin of the person. This is gruesome. The skin of the person for things, the blood, the organs. Not only there, but in China, the organs are being trafficked. And that's why I tell everybody, on your driver's license, do not say that you are an organ donor, because they will use your DNA to clone others or to make an enemy for you. That's all I got to say. So who is Soel? I've had dreams of Soel, and I've been wondering, I was wondering for a while, it's like, who is she, and then when I did my regression with James Rink, I saw myself for sure. I'm like, oh wow, that is real. And so we're in this cave, and we're dressed up all in black. We have this helmet, and also Jamin Vasquez can certify to this, and it's actually a group of us, 33 of us. We are in a huge group in a jump room, ready to go into Mars. And Max Spears is, the generals pick Max Spears, myself, and so there's 7 of us, another few groups to go through Mars. And that's where we're wearing the black. We're working for Nachtwaffen, or the German project as well. And we are all in black. We have the helmet that you could barely see, your eyes. And I see swords. I always see swords behind me. and we're saving the children, rescuing the children and animals. I did see that the caves, they're black, and I saw how we're in the kind of like trickling water in a cave, and there's water running. I see the water running where the cages are, and the animals and the kids are, and some even some females are there, adults, and they're using electricity to and the water to torture them. So we fight them, and James is there as well, and we take them out, and they're raptoids, what they call raptoids. So these little kind of dinosaur-looking things, and there are some unfortunate casualties, but overall, we take them out. So again, touching a little bit on Sheila, my Sheila the She-Hulk, and the Hulk program is through the Umbrella Project and CERN is, and of course DARPA, Kruger, right? Kruger program. Our job as Hulks is to do away with zombies. Now, they created the zombie out of the Hulk, out of the 99, we'll say, because they wanted to see what happens when they bite us Hulks. Well, we only get stronger. So there's also another war going on right now between the Hulk super soldiers and zombies. And I've had dreams of them since I was a kid. You know, the half face, the gruesome thing. The zombies also want to scare the kids and also bite them. They want to see what kind of abilities the kids would have being zombies and things like that. Well, some do transform into werewolves, and you know, of course, we have the Draco DNA also with the Hulk program. So they're also, we'll say the Illuminati, if you want to cut that out, I don't know if you want to cut that out, but they're trying to make the enemies of the Hulk with the werewolves, also with the other vampires, through the zombies. So there's zombifying things. And what's going on right now with this pandemic is that I'm telling everybody not to get the vaccine, because it has something to do with the 99. It has something to do with augmenting your DNA, removing the soul from your body, using you with frickin' Elon Musk, which he's also used by the AI and the Illuminati, and you know, ruining the planet by using lithium batteries and all that, and the Tesla cars. I don't want one, thank you. And so he wants to hook people up to the Neuralink, which is like the AI cloud hive mind, the AI god, because there's many AI gods here, but there's like a main evil one, we'll say. And they want to use us like the movie Transcendence. If you ever see Johnny Depp movie Transcendence, you know, they just want to use us for whatever projects they want. Basically killing off the body, using the mind for their projects. So I say no to that. If you all look at the movie G.I. Joe Cobra, they will show you the stargates, and they won't show you the crystals. They won't show because there's 12 or 13 crystal cities underground. If you look at Superman, the original one, kryptonite, the enemy, kryptonite of Superman, what is it, right? So the project is still going on. I was thinking about another project that, like I said before, the SOG, which is Special Ops Group, or you can say Special Ops Glass, okay? That's also used. I was in that program, Looking Glass, through SOG. And I was Bravo 18, which for the longest time, I'm like, okay, well, why am I Andromedan 1800 Traveler 1800? What do I have to do with that? And now I know, because like I said, someone from high school remembered me when I was in the army, and he was in the army, this man, that I was a trainer for SOG. And so it has to do with CERN and Stargate as well. And also it'll touch upon crystal gates as well. And so they'll hook you into this machine where you can go through the Stargate program with SOG. Now, like I said, us real super soldiers, we were not only trained there, but we were trained through all the rapes and the drowning and the electricity and the shooting up of the Blackgoo, yellow goo, you name it. We are actually able to go through stargates and come back. Now, Stargate 1 with Looking Glass is a project that they made together. And in the beginning, they had the homeless go through there. They targeted the homeless to see if they would come back. Well, some of them didn't come back. Some of them couldn't fight off the enemy that they had on the other side. Some of them came back discombobulated, we'll say vegetables turned into vegetables. Some could not function. They had to be put out, as they say. They didn't want society to know. They still don't want society, us, the real, society out there to know what is going on. I do have the memory on Mars with Soel. Now I'm still trying to piece together, which I just talked about, but I'm still trying to piece together my other alter, excuse me, Alka. I see him. He has if you ever see that movie Creed Assassin, he's an assassin. He's wearing like this hood, and it's like maroon color. And I'm looking at myself in the mirror, and there's fog. Now, that same fog, I forgot to mention with the Hulk program, they have the fog around our head when they're creating our Hulk alters, our clones, sorry. So, Alka, I'm sitting here and I'm looking at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, there's this fog, and I have these gloves that are kind of like just fingerless. I have a shaved head, black hair, a little bit of black hair coming out, black eyes, and I have this glass thing. It looks like a cell phone, but it's like a little glass laptop. And then I look up from it and I'm like, wow, who am I here? I'm not used to being a man, but I do have other male alters that are in the Russian and German project as soldiers. So thank you, James Ring, for having me on Super Soldier Talk. Can't wait to see this live, or on, I mean. I can't wait to see this uploaded. My contact information is Veronica Bartolini with Unchained Hearts on YouTube, www.veronicabartolini.com, which goes to my YouTube channel, or unchainedhearts.com. I'm working on a website. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. Instagram is Lisa Monroe. Lisa Monroe is my sex kitten CIA alter. I had no idea before I had my awakening what the heck. And I was on Instagram as that. That's her name. But I do readings. I do cleansings. I break hexes. I do protection. And what else? I'm an alchemist, I guess you can say. And I have a BHT, so it's behavioral health tech. And I'm a recovery coach. I can help with relationships, sex, magic, all that. I don't have all the answers like people might want to say, but I can find out for you. Thank you.
Please consider supporting Super Soldier Talk by purchasing your own Neo Meditation device. Your Neo Meditation device will help you reduce stress, integrate trauma, enhance intuition, enhance clairvoyance, and enhance creativity. Get yours now at www.neologicaltech.com.